Sounds like Russian
Your
propaganda, spy, Sputnik's what it sounds like.
based on the cast, who are more believable high schoolers? Grease 2 or Grease 1? Who are the more believable by appearance?
Is there a third option?
And for the secondary people, while you do have people like Rizzo that I agree is very popular and very famous or whatever, to me, like I got Judy Garland's daughter, as Paulette on here.
Say that
And
as far as Judy Garland's daughter, she did audition for Rizzo and was replaced by Stockard Channing in favor for Grease One. And you ready?
Hi, this is James with the Chicago Cinephiles, and I am not Daniel. I am hosting today. We have the lovely, majestic Stephen.
Wow, majestic.
Yeah, 2 words, delivering. And then we have the Herculean person that's taking on an incredible task today, Daniel. Today we are going to see who reigns supreme in Rydale High. They're going to be debating which is the best movie, Grease 1 or Grease 2. Steven will be doing Grease 1 and Daniel will be doing Grease 2. How do you guys feel about your guys' preparation for the debate?
Steven, I'll let you since you're the first one, I'll let you go first.
I feel pretty good. I mean, I think it's sort of like, Reagan's second, campaign, you know what I mean, where he carried 49 states. I mean, it's sort of like, people may afterwards go, well, I didn't vote for that, but sure. Did somebody have an epileptic fit in the voting booth? Is that what happened? That's how I got right. So, a lot of people I think will agree with me, but there is a lot of, sort of cult film love for Grease too. So I can't just phone this in, but
Steven, just like everyone predicted Hillary Clinton to win, I am hoping to have that sweeping moment. I am going to be on the dean's list. I'm going to ace this test. I'm going to get my Letterman jacket at Rydell High, and I'm going to get the leading role and the leading lady
you forget I'm the best dancer at St. Bernadette's.
with the worst reputation.
Thank you.
All right. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of time to attack each other personally later. So I'm going to get into the movie. So, for any people that do not know, I'll do a quick summary of the movies, and I'm sure everyone knows it, but I'm going to give you a quick summary.
Hmm.
So, first, Grease 1. During summer vacation, Danny and Sandy fall in love, believing they'll never see each other again. When Sandy unexpectedly enrolls in Rydale High, they reunite, but Danny acts differently in front of his friends to protect his school image as they navigate peer pressure, friendship, and high school life. Both struggle to balance being true to themselves with fitting in. In the end, they reconcile and celebrate their own love in a memorable musical finale. So that is Grease 1. Grease 2, 2 years after the events of Grease 1. Michael, a shy British exchange student at Rydale High, falls for Stephanie, the confident leader of the Pink Ladies. Since since Stephanie wants to date a cool motorcycle rider, Michael secretly transforms himself into the mysterious cool rider. After winning her heart and revealing his true identity, the two end up together in a fun musical finale. Aloha. So, I will like to start with opening arguments. Stephen, since you are defending the original Grease 1, I will give your opening argument to why Grease 1 is superior over Grease 2, and then Daniel will be able to do his defense of Grease 2. So, without further ado, Stephen, let us know what you think.
Well, I'll start off with some. I'll start off slightly and then end with the big stuff. I mean, the big strength for Grease is the pairing of John Travolta and Olivia and John. They're just an incredible couple. Their romance feels genuine. They have a tremendous on-screen presence that I don't think Michelle Pfeiffer and Maxwell Caulfield ever generated. Sure, I think Michelle Pfeiffer generated more, sort of like spark with her ladder than she did with Maxwell Caulfield. But for another reason, the songs are still hits. I mean, Summer Nights, Grease Lightning are the one that I want. Hopelessly Devoted to You became a huge hit when this came out, as did the title song, went to number 40. The same can't be said for Cool Rider and Reproduction. Uh, Characters like Rizzo and Kaniki and Frenchie, Marty, they all have memorable personalities, I think, which they don't really have as memorable in the sequel. And last but not least, this became the highest grossing movie musical ever made, second only by Chicago in the 2000s. And at the time of its release, it was the third highest grossing film after Star Wars and Jaws, and remains a staple of popular culture ever since. That's mine.
Hey, great opening argument. Daniel, I'm excited to hear your opening argument for Grease 2.
All right, well, I'm gonna treat this more like a courtroom because I got like my own little written opening statement, so I'm gonna read all this out. So y'all just bear with me because I want to make sure, as passionate as I am, I gotta make sure that I'm saying it.
Object.
Ladies and gentlemen of this court, there's been a murder and so no. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to defend the unpopular opinion that Grease 2 is the better movie. And I know that may sound crazy at first, but hear me out. While yes, everyone does love the original, and I'm not here to bash on the original because I don't think that I have to put my movie down put his movie down to make my movie better. I think that Grease 2 speaks for itself. So the biggest thing Grease 2 takes everything fun about the first movie, the music, the romance, the high school drama, the larger than life characters, and turns it up a little bit to where it's campy. Instead of just watching two people from different worlds struggle to fit together, we get a story about growth, confidence, and breaking out of stereotypes. Michael isn't just trying to win Steffi's attention. He's willing to reinvent himself, take risk, and become someone he truly wants to be. Most importantly, Grease 2 doesn't just repeat the sequel or the original, it flips it. In the first movie, Danny changes to get the girl, and the sequel, Michael changes because he's trying to get confidence and become his own person, not just willing to change the week. This week he's jock, next week he's not. To me, that's more of an interesting message for a newer generation. And lastly, I'll say this. While Grease may have the history and the nostalgia, Grease 2 has the creativity, the energy, and most importantly, the courage to do something different. And in my opinion, when you're debating which is better, taking risks should count for a lot. The end.
Oh, that is a great opening argument.
Fancy.
And I will have
but we didn't get to finish the third set.
I got to say overruled. So I'm going to give Daniel some opening points because I feel like his opening thing was the best. It was well thought out. So Daniel, you get 5 points, and keep in mind these points mean nothing.
5 points for Gryffindor.
They're shoot bucks, basically.
Yeah, they're Stanley Nichols.
yeah. Stanley Nichols and Shroot Bucks. All right. So, for the first real round, let's talk about fun facts about the movies. So, Stephen went first. So, Daniel, give me some fun facts for Grease 2.
Yeah, so the first one I'll mention is the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer performed her own stunts in the Lone Rider scene where she's straddling the motorcycle driver. That's her own stunts. That's her on the actual actual motorcycle. That's pretty impressive. Also, Michelle Pfeiffer didn't think she'd get the role at all. She just basically went on a whim, essentially. And then these last two are my two favorite ones. So the first one is this is just crazy. So Paramount supposedly refused to let the cast keep their pink ladies jackets. And Lorna Luft at the time was devastated, who plays Paulette, was devastated. But years later, a woman had bought the jacket at a studio auction and gave it back to her at a meet and greet.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Wow.
And then my last one, this is funny because anytime I can make fun of this actor, I'm going to. And unknown at the time, Tom Cruise tried out for Johnny Nagarelli, the T-Bird leader, but the director felt he was too short and young. I'm sorry. I just love that because I am a hater of Tom Cruise. That makes me so happy that he felt that he was too short because I know he's very like he's very sensitive about his height. To me, that's just the best one. Like I just love that.
What do you think about that, Tom? Are you upset about that? No, Tom. No. Let me get.
Bring him
let me
up.
get
We can't see him. Bring him.
I'm gonna get some old phone books and see if I can bring them out.
So those are my fun facts. There's not a ton out there, but those are some pretty good ones. I felt like.
Interesting choice to bash Tom Cruise.
Come on, Scientology people, bring it on. Come after me. Put it in the comments. Come after me. I'm fair game, as they say.
All right, Steven, why don't you give your fun facts and don't bash John Travolta because let's face it.
Yeah, there were 2 for 2 on Scientology.
Really? So the first one is a little strange, but I think you're going to like it. In the stage play, in the song "Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee," there's a reference to Sal Mineo, who was murdered in 1976. So the movie changed the lyric to the Elvis Presley lyric, to an Elvis Presley lyric. Ironically, the slumber party scene in the movie and the song were filmed on August 16th, 1977, the day Elvis Presley died. Woo.
Coincidence.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
The end notes for, I didn't know this at all. The end notes for Summer Nights that John Travolta, that wasn't John Travolta. That's Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees.
Yeah, of course it is.
Rizzo's hickeys were real and put there by Jeff Conway. He insisted on putting them there himself. I'm sure we all know that Olivia Newton-John had to be sewn into her leather pants because the zipper was broken.
God.
And one of my favorite is at the cast party, the T-Bird actors handed out buttons with pictures of them mooning the camera.
T-Bones.
Which I thought was kind of infatuating.
That is funny.
That is awesome.
A little bizarre. Jeff Conway was so infatuated with Olivia Newton-John that he married her younger sister. Woo, isn't that weird?
Okay.
Was she 12 like the girl in mine was?
Oh.
But I got to get away.
Okay, and Elvis actually turned down the role of the teen angel and the beauty school dropout. He turned it down. Isn't that bizarre?
That's Frankie Valli, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Look at you.
Well, my mom's a big fan of him, so I thought it was. Fun, not really a fun fact, but if you guys ever go back and watch, Steve, I'm surprised you didn't pick Grease 2 as your favorite because that one of the extras, whenever he's running and doing the like hurdles, his wiener falls out and they don't edit it out. Another one that's really funny is the
that was Kurt, right? I've seen that.
Yeah, that was you, wasn't it? The young girl, I can't remember her name, is Paulette's sister, the young one that kind of just hangs around. She was underage. She was just 12 at the time. And so at the end, when they all like kiss their person, the guy actor who is supposed to kiss her, he kisses her nose. And so like you see him, like he kisses her, like if they zoom in, it shows it kisses her. And of course, the quality back then, you probably couldn't see it, but now it's been HD'd. You can clearly see that he kisses her nose, which I appreciate, obviously. Like we're not trying to, like we had last week, or was it last week? Yeah, the squints one. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So
he's 18, he's 12,
basically. But anyway, I thought that was funny that I saw those like bloopers on TikTok about the dude's wiener falling out, and I was like, wow.
Well, yeah. What have you seen? One, you've seen them all. You know.
Is that your handle on the late night shows?
Mine is number 28. Now serving.
All right. Well, those are some interesting fun facts. Thank you. I will have to give this round to Steven because we will not have a pending lawsuit. So, Steven, you get 10 points for fun facts because that's a segment I normally do.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, see, I love that. I love how you are. It's perfect.
Nepotism at its best. All right. So that was our round one. And now for people that are going to fast forward for this part, round two. The characters, which one has the better cast? Take with you what you want. You can do more memorable characters, best character moments. Give me your guys' arguments. You go first.
Well, I will say this, just to say what the better cast is. Again, I think Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta leading this movie, they're obviously the better couple because they were actually shopped around and wanted to find and were hoped to find another vehicle for them to star in, another musical or another movie. When they finally did, it was not so great, but I still love it. What is it? Fist of Fate or something like that. Something like that. I forgot what it was called. But, they didn't really have that for Maxwell and for Michelle, although she went on tour. Again, she and the latter have done a lot of really good work. I think Michelle and her latter have done a lot of work. But the supporting cast, I think, in this movie, in Grease, you have iconic moments that you remember, and a lot of people repeat, and not just my generation. For Marty, brush up, get the, you have Marty. Oh, no, that was not Marty. That was, I forgot who was her name. What is her name? I've forgotten. But for Marty talking to Vince Fontaine, Marty, is in Maraschino, Frenchie smoking, and my favorite thing Frenchie does is when she gets rid of the people who are like, bullying Sandy when they pull up her dress, and she goes like this. Like, I love that little moment, Rizzo's song, period. It's just such a character song for her. And Danny trying out for all the different sports is hilarious. Just hilarious. So I think there's a lot of characters and stuff. Danny and Sandy at the drive-in, that entire scene is hilarious. Oh, Sandy,
I do like I'm going to interject in this. I did like where they were at the movie scene and he was at the thing and the hot dog went into the bun. Don't read into anything like that.
And he actually wanted a close up, and he was mad that the bun, the hot dog going to the bun, was chosen over his close up. But I don't know. There's just so many things that have become iconic that even just a little thing like getting out of the car at the beginning of the movie when Rizzo goes, "Oh God," it's just little things like that that are just completely remembered and repeated again and again and again. That's, I guess, what I have.
All right, Daniel.
Well, it's kind of interesting that you say that John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John are so great. The next movie they go to bombs because they don't have the original Broadway musical to back it up. That seems suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I
don't
knew
be
you would say
suspicious.
that. I knew you would
I got you to make snap, Mr. Bond.
That wonderful follow-up that Maxwell Caulfield and Michelle Pfeiffer did. I love it. What was that called?
They didn't need to know one. One was good enough.
One was good enough. That's that. Okay.
For me,
in this world, when we have something successful, we don't want to repeat it. No producer ever wants to repeat.
All right, is this time up? Can you mute him, moderator? Tell him to shut up.
I wish I could.
I can. I have the power to do it. Let me unmute you, Stephen. Okay. So for me, I think that the overall cast is way stronger than Grease 1, because that's the question. You asked the characters, the cast. For me, Grease 2, to me, Maxwell Caulfield's character is more complex than John Travolta's character, because John Travolta is simply just doing what he can do to get to the girl. Whereas Michael in his charade song talks about how, how can I be two when there's only one heart? Basically, how can I be two people when there's only one heart? So he's already wanting to change into someone more confident and different. And I just think that, and I also think that it's more realistic for a guy to change. For a guy to change for a girl than vice versa. And I know that John Travolta did try it, obviously, but Michael actually did, successfully do it. I think that while Olivia Newton-John, I'm not gonna say her and bash her because I think she's gorgeous and I think she plays a great role. I think Michelle Pfeiffer brings just an extra bit of oomph that is not in Grease 1. And I know it's because she's the good girl, I get that, but that really comes off the page really well. And I think Maxwell plays the good guy really well. And for the secondary people, while you do have people like Rizzo that I agree is very popular and very famous or whatever, to me, like, I got Judy Garland's daughter, as Paulette on here. And if there's one thing that Judy Garland taught her girls, I know she probably wasn't old enough to remember this, but or gave her genes was how to steal the show. When she sings to Johnny about him, at the bowling alley, these things are out here, you know what I mean? It's just like, and then she stands up for herself at the end. She's like, I'm not going to do this. She stands up for herself. And I just really appreciate it. And I really enjoyed the more like bumbling buffoon kind of characters. And also for me, the most memorable scene, because with with Grease, I think you remember the most memorable scenes as the songs. And Stephen, as you've said about 7 times in this podcast, Michelle Pfeiffer and her ladder had a connection. To me, that right there shows that the scenes were more impactful because my opponent is literally is saying that that was so impactful. Whereas Grease, it's all about the songs. And so for me, just that scene right there is enough for me. And for character moment, it's that one. And I love the Who's That Guy when he comes by and kicks the rat or Crater Face because we all can't stand that guy. So I just think that while the two leaders of Greece may be more recognizable and more known, I think as a whole and as a cast, to me, Grease 2 is more memorable because of you've got a lot more complex and interesting characters as opposed to more just cut and dry. And I think that's a symbol of the time from the 60s versus the 50s. 'Cause I think it's 62 or 68, right? For Grease 2 and like in the late 50s for Grease 1. And so that I think that shows
61 to
too the
60 for
differences.
Grease, too. Yeah.
You know
And
what I
then
mean?
59 to 60, I think, for Grease.
Which I think is a huge jump. No, it's 2 years because it's 2 years.
It was
Um,
58 and 61-ish is what they said
yeah.
for Grease 2.
So I do think it's a
Whatever that
difference because
means.
that's like you think about we're getting in the 60s, we're getting into all this stuff. So I think that all that stuff plays a role. Anyway, that's my argument.
Is there time
Okay.
for rebuttal?
Yes, rebuttal away.
I mean, I would just say that as far as Judy Garland's daughter, she did audition for Rizzo and was replaced by Stockard Channing in favor for Grease 1. And as far as me talking about Michelle Pfeiffer and her ladder, it says a lot that Michelle Pfeiffer and an inanimate object have more gusto and sort of, resonate more with the audiences than Michelle Pfeiffer and any other actor in this movie. Yeah, and they're dancing with bowling balls. That's a lot.
Oh, you don't want to get started with the choreography. The choreography, I'll knock you out. The choreography. The choreography
the choreographer for this movie
is 10,000 times better than it is for Grease 1, and there's no argument there. And you know it. You know that's true too.
I don't really agree with that, but as far as
okay,
wow, okay,
and it was the same choreographer.
Okay.
But I mean, I found a lot of the first one or the second one, especially the opening number, is so like it's the same movement by everybody except for maybe two.
As opposed to a cartoon character. That's the movie that's from Frankie Valli, not even from.
How can you have choreography? How do you compare the choreography of a cartoon?
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like you guys put a cartoon as your opening scene. We have an actual opening song. We'll get into that because that's part of the debate. So.
That's true. But the other thing I would just say is that he does change for her, and I'll get into this later. But she doesn't change for him, and her initial reaction is, "I don't want to date you," and yet he pursues and pursues and pursues, which is a big old red flag, as far as I'm concerned these days. If it was the opposite, which we see, a lot, crazy women are women who approach or try to get men who say no are considered crazy and woohoo, and off the loop. But men who keep pursuing women who say no. I mean, she says it in the first scene. When are you going to get the picture? No, I don't want to date you. So, it's a little weird. But in Grease, they both change, which is something I don't think anybody ever realizes. He immediately goes, I was a jerk. I was trying to stay my rep. And she says, I'll believe that when I see it. He goes out and he let her in trap. So he's making this effort for her throughout the entire movie. And then she decides, I got to stretch a little bit if I want this to work. So they both come together to make the relationship work, which I think says a lot about the first movie.
I mean, I know I'm supposed to be unbiased here, but I'm the host, so whatever. So, but don't you say that you should look at movie at the times? You were saying that you're looking through the lens, like the 50s and 60s, like things were kind of different. So, like, you got to look at the time the movie was placed. Like, yes, now that is creepy.
And I would also argue that it's high school.
Anytime.
I would argue that it's high school, and you can't not run into people in high school. Like, he didn't go to her job like the last American in Paris. Like he didn't go to her
You
job.
got me there.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I've been rejected in high school, and then like, you know, like I know obviously it's not like a year or so later, I'd ask her out again, and she'd tell me no again. But like, you know, because she never gave him a full no. She just basically laughed and said like, until she sang Cool Rider, she never really. She just kind of said like, I'm busy. And then he like, and a part to me too, I think could be the not language barrier, but the social barrier between English and American. Maybe I don't know. I'm just saying like I didn't. It didn't come off as creepy that he was asking her because in high school you're gonna run into her again. Like he didn't look for her. He was just playing the piano and there she is.
Well,
And then she kisses him in the bowling alley. He didn't ask for that.
That's true, but he just created an entirely mysterious persona that she doesn't know about, and then sort of surprises her, which could be considered a little weird, you know, when she finds out.
I mean, he didn't kidnap her though. He just became a cool writer, and then he
didn't show up at her work. You're right.
Yeah, and like he became what she wanted based off the song.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot more. I don't want to. We're getting sidetracked.
Right. I'm just becoming very woke today.
Today?
How dare you, sir?
Okay, so based on the cast, who are more believable high schoolers? Grease 2 or Grease 1? Who are the more believable by appearance?
Is there a third option?
Grease 2. Because we actually have a legit 12-year-old in high school. I think she's like 13. But like to me, they look way like if you look at the guy who plays Johnny, he looks way younger than John Travolta, in my opinion. Oh, and Kenickie looks like he's 47. I'm sorry. He was about the same age as he looks at the same age as the substitute teacher does in mine.
I just wanted to bring that up because it bothers me that none of them look like they're in high school.
I think I think John Travolta was the youngest. I think he was 25 for Grease 1.
I think there were some people a few years younger.
Well, I mean, like the main cast, I think. Yeah, they were all.
I think it was 28.
Like 33 in Grease 2.
Because I saw the third. Yeah, I saw a lot of more in the 30s, which is, I mean, I get it. Like
for me to introduce Sondheim into this, like I always do. I mean, if you look at the big musical they did about people going backwards in time to when they were teenagers, they cast teenagers or people who were, basically 20, 18, 17, and had them start playing older at the beginning of the play and then going backwards. And they couldn't do it for the most part, because they don't have the life experience. So not that we should always have 35-year-olds playing teenagers, where hello, fellow kids. We
don't need you playing a 17-year-old.
There's a reason
I just looked it up. Grease 2. Maxwell Caulfield was 22. Michelle Pfeiffer was 23. Sharon Copper was 18. Allison Price was 17. And then Dolores was 15. The oldest person on the show was Paulette. She was 24 or 25.
Wow.
That's young.
Yeah. All right. Well, so on this round, I will have to say I'm going to have to go with the cast for Grease 2. I think they are a better cast. Like for some of the reasons that Daniel's put up, and not that I'm flipping back and forth on points to keep it easier for me to keep track of, but because I actually legitimately, Danny argued well, and I think Grease 2 has the better cast. So,
well, thank you,
Daniel. I award you 20 beats. I have no idea what that converts into points, but you get 20 beats.
Headphones, like Beats headphones? So
no, the vegetable that Shroot grows.
Ah, darn.
All right. Well, now we are going to move on to the next thing. Storytelling and tone. Which is the better story? Which has the better romance? Discuss. We had Steven go first, so Daniel go.
Do we want to just do like the story first and then do the romance separate?
Yeah, let's do the romance. Let's do the story first.
So as I mentioned before, Grease 2 is the better story because he changes his whole appearance, his confidence, everything grows. He's not just changing for a girl. Like he's changing his entire appearance. Like he changes he gets confidence, everything. Like, he saves up for it. Like to me, people who, this girl's hot, let me go ahead and change my hairstyle, let me do something different. That's a get rich quick scheme, whereas he spends like weeks doing papers for the T-Birds to get money to buy a motorcycle. Like you would think by that point she would have shown her ugly colors if you didn't like her. You know what I mean? Like, because we've all been infatuated with somebody, and then 2 days later, you're like, "What the heck did I do that for?" Literally, you know. Um, and so for me, it's just the storyline. The better story is again the fact that a dude changes. 'Cause to me, that's more that just happens. That's just more common. It is in my experience that that's always how it happens. Not saying it's right, but when the guy gets married, he quits playing video games, quits doing X, Y, and Z because the wife, he gets better priorities. And I just think that, it's a situation, and let's be honest, usually most couples, if the girl's hot, the dude's probably ugly, but he treats her right. And so to me, although Maxwell Caulfield's attractive, I can't say he's ugly, but Michelle Pfeiffer is very attractive. Whereas I think Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta are both on the same level, in my opinion, as of attractiveness. I think they're both pretty attractive. So for me, that's my argument on the better story is that and it's just more realistic. Like I said, it flows. I just think it's more realistic.
Steven, what
I
defend
would
your
say that
story?
to have the Grease 2 story, you have to have the Grease story because it totally copies and flips our story. There's no way to have a Grease 2 story where, oh, where the girl's going to take the guy's role, the guy's going to take the girl's role if you don't have our story. You know what I mean? You totally took our story and then decided to flip it. So, yeah, I get what you're saying that, we were going to do a deeper dive into him, but does he ever express that he wants to be a motorcycle rider or something like that? I mean, it just seems like an odd.
Well, in
You're
the
saying
song
that
Charade,
he
he talks
chooses.
about the two masks can only be one. So he does talk about how he wants to be like, you know what I mean?
But I just don't see that as like him him fulfilling himself. I see what you're saying about him changing and working towards it. But so does Danny. He letters in track to get to her. He's not just, putting on some leather pants, which right, women seem to be able to put on some straight
Yeah, but
leather
let's be
pants.
honest, lettering a track is not exactly like, judging by what they were working with, they had Converses on them. Not exactly like I don't think that argument holds. It's like, yeah, it's like clearly you can tell this was not directed by someone who plays sports. We're gonna play basketball and Converse. No, I know they had Converses back then. I'm just making a joke. Sorry. Anyway, Steve, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, it's okay. Um, but I would just say again, as far as um, the story goes, I mean, it's just again, they're both changing for themselves. You know what I mean? And it's really a story about how they each change a little bit to make their relationship successful, which is I think is a great story. Plus, you see how other like with Rizzo and Kaneki, they're back and forth and back and forth. But I don't know. There for some reason, I think it's best that they both change. I don't think that the Michelle Pfeiffer character really changes any. She has changed ten to her.
But she
You know what
doesn't.
I mean?
Sorry.
She doesn't. What do you mean?
Well, I'll let you finish because I'll do my rebuttal since you rebutted me last time.
Rebutted.
But go ahead. Sorry, finish.
No,
My bad.
that's what I would say. I mean, as far as the story is concerned, I don't know. I think that there has to be our story before your story could ever happen because you're, adapting it. You know. Plus, it's the one thing weird about the Greek stew story. It's always struck me as funny is it's not only is Frenchie showing up to high school 2 years later for chemistry class. That's odd, but Sandy's from Australia. How is her cousin from England?
Do you not know Jessica Fletcher? Come on, Stephen. We know it's funny. Come on, Murder She Wrote.
What do you know what I mean? Like it's just like what?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Australia was a colony of England at one point.
That's true. So
Right.
so like Sandy's cousin was in prison on the prison island. Is that what you're saying?
She's an
Okay.
Alcatraz.
Technically, Australia is still part of it because the king is still the figurehead of Australia. So technically, they're not really a real country. So
But I
Yeah,
would
they're
just like,
continent.
yeah, I see that, but it's a
I'm
big
just picking
stretch.
on, I'm picking on James.
Anyway, it's just one of those things that we go, what? You're stretching it a little bit here. But then again, it was, 1970, 80. We stretched a lot then. I actually had hair then. So what do you want?
All right.
Rebut.
Daniel, go get him.
So let me get this straight. You're telling
that
me
smug.
that you're
Look
the
at that
first
smug look.
person to
He's like,
ever have a love story where a guy changes for a girl or vice versa. So you're telling me that that's never happened before, and we stole it from you. There's literally like there's nothing that is not a unique story whatsoever, brother. Like it's not unique at all. And to argue this thing about Stephanie never changing, not because, and I'm gonna take Michelle Pfeiffer out of this. Her character doesn't have to change. She doesn't bully anybody. She's nice to the nerds. Like she's respectfully declining him. She's not, picking on Eugene like they do in the first one. Like she doesn't pick on him. She doesn't even pick on Paulette's sister, who just is like has you. We've all had that annoying cousin, sibling, or whatever that just has to be with you because your mom makes them. She's never mean to anybody. She's never like judgmental. The worst she says is, "When are you going to get it?" and then jumps into a cool rider. So she doesn't have to change because she's not mean. Whereas John Travolta's character embarrassed Sandy in front of everybody. Like, and you have to change for that because you got to make up for that, brother. Like, you just did a big buffoon. Like, you just messed up. And so I just don't think that she has to change because, I mean, obviously people change all the time, but not in a 6 week period of the movie would, or probably less realistically. But like, I mean, I didn't like. She's probably what, a junior, or she's probably a senior because they have that Lou at the end. So she's a senior. So she's not like she's 14. She's already starting to become an adult and kind of establishing, who she is. I know you change, obviously, but I just don't think she needs a change, and I just don't think I don't think my story is unique either. Like, there's plenty of stories where it's switched as well. Like, but I think your argument of saying that, oh, I did it first. Okay, so did probably 1,000 other movies before you guys. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
that's my rebuttal.
I guess my point is that the bones of the story. It's here's our story, and to make this work.
But again, Stephen,
I
boy loves girl, girl loves boy. They move away. Like I just don't see how they come to school together. Like to me, that's a common trope. I know you hate that word, but that's a common trope.
I see what you're saying. I'm just pointing out that there wouldn't be a Grease 2 without a Grease 1. Obviously.
Okay, I disagree. You're right, because it'd be called Grease 1.
and under your sort of logic about the Stephanie Dezzoni character, I don't think really Sandy said anything wrong.
She didn't have to change. I'm not saying she is. She's not a bad character.
But she chooses to sort of like fit into his world a little bit, which I think is really. You may not call it growth, you may not call it superficial, but I think it's a step forward to showing, hey, I see why you did this. I see what you need. You know what I mean? You're good.
Unpopular opinion. She's better looking and hopelessly devoted to you than she is at the end of the movie. She is a girl next door look, and that's what she's meant to be. She is gorgeous in her when she's in her little puddle in the pond or the kiddie pool with the love letter. She's beautiful in that dress. I would give you that. But I think she's way prettier as the girl next door look than the leather girl. Leather girl's hot. I'm not saying it's not, but I'll take Michelle Pfeiffer in leather, and I'll take Olivia Newton-John in a sundress.
All right.
Do you have one of those things? Okay,
and twice on Sundays.
Huh.
On that heathenish note, I will have to, for that part, I'm going to give Daniel 5 celeries because I blew the beat budget for that.
I gave out too many beats.
I blew it, I know celery farming is like the easiest farming, but whatever. But the next part that I want to know is, out of those two, who has the better romance? Steven, I believe you go first on this one.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yes. The better romance? I mean, to me, obviously, it's the one that is sort of going throughout the movie, which is Danny and Sandy. Even before the movie begins, they've fallen in love. And then they're going to be separated. They accept that. And then they sort of come together, even when they don't know how to make the relationship work. Even when you're going to slam the door into his, personage. And that's sort of the best reactions ever on film. But they're sort of struggling to make this work. And again, the romance is one thing, but their chemistry is just, when they're dancing and he lifts her up and she gets this look in her eye. You remember when they're going around and around and she's just so into him and he's so into her. I mean, he may end the dance at the gym with Cha Cha because the best dancer at St. Bernadette's, but he is in his zone and she is in her zone when she's dancing with Danny and vice versa. That little intro to them coming out with their little dance routine when they're doing the
Hand jive.
one of the best things ever. So I think their relationship is one that is constantly moving forward, and it's the best romance. And heck, their car takes off at the end and goes into space. What else do you want? That's romance, you know?
And the rocket technology was starting out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Daniel,
Sounds like Russian
your
propaganda spy Sputnik's what it sounds like. Uh so for me, I obviously think that Michelle Pfeiffer and Maxwell Caulfield is better. I don't see and I can be, and like I told you at the very beginning, I'm not going to down Grease. I don't see this chemistry that you're speaking of. As to me, it's not like I see the chemistry in like The Apartment. It's obvious. I see it in other movies, but I don't see it like that. And maybe I just need to watch it, again, even I watched this week, but I just don't see that chemistry there. I don't know. I just don't see it. Now, I will say Olivia Newton-John when they first meet, that scene is great when they're like, "Oh my God, Danny," but then he ruins it because he has to be a jerk and keep his reputation. Whereas in my opinion, in Grease too, it's not an issue of, oh, we can't be together. It's not a Romeo and Juliet thing. It's not, oh, we can't be together. What it is that we're in two separate circles and you're new here, so I don't know you yet. If you notice, like, they haven't known each other for years. He just runs in, he just sees her one day, and then Frenchie says she's a pink lady, hands off or whatever. And then he runs into her at the cafeteria food line, in the food where she gets pushed into him. Then they run into each other at the bowling alley, and then the piano. And so to me, it's not an issue of they can't ever be together. It's just that they didn't run in the same circles. Whereas John Travolta purposely ignores her and like is a dick to her for a little while to keep up his reputation. So for me, I just think that someone who is, you know, nice the whole time. Like I don't like when bad guys get the good girl, basically.
Alrighty. Well, Stephen, I think you are correct. They are a better love story. So I will give you 10 celeries for
Dang
that because
it.
I didn't blow the budget.
Dang it.
So,
Dang it.
Stephen, 10 celeries. And
Any peanut butter on this salary? Maybe a little peanut butter.
I mean, I will allow one with peanut butter.
Okay, good.
Your argument wasn't that great.
No peanut butter. The rest cut is cheese, sir. How dare you?
All right. So we are doing the lightning round. So I'm going to ask questions. No long drawn out answers. Under a minute. 30 seconds preferably. You're going to state your case why yours is better.
Okay.
So starting off with which one had the better opening song? Daniel, you go first.
I'll make it short and sweet. Grease is from Frankie Valley. It's not from Grease, not this. But to me, Back to School is the better opener because it immediately captures the excitement, chaos, and fun of being back in high school. It shows the cliques, it shows the nerds, and it shows the nerves and excitement of the new school year. And the choreography is bigger and better. The pace is faster, and the entire school comes alive. And they answer. You know who's who in the first 2 minutes of the movie. And so for me, while Grease is a great song, this song moves the plot along because it's telling you we're back in school. It's a new school year. Here's the clicks. Here's everything.
All
Go,
right.
Steven.
Steven.
I will say not that Grease is the word is a better song. It's just a better way to introduce the characters and to set the entire tone of Grease. It's a very fun, illustrative. I don't know. Having the animation really sort of go out there and not really go to campy, but really make it fun and wacky is a great way to make sure the audience knows what they're in for. This is not going to be a serious, uh, look at the late 50s, early 60s high school code. This is not Rebel Without a Cause, with music. This is Grease. Have a good time. Remember who you were in high school, and enjoy yourself with these great, a look back at what high school was and what relationships were at the time.
Good. I'm gonna go with Steven because 2D animation, my heart. So you get 5 golden doubloons, but it's chocolate.
It's chocolate. That's
All right.
even better.
All right. So which one has the better finale? Steven, you go first.
Um, I mean, we'll always be together. It's just an upbeat, literally dance out the aisle, out of the theater, which is what my brother and I did, much to the chagrin of my father, who was really upset that he had brought his 2 very young gay boy sons, which he didn't know at the time, to a musical that they would now repeat for the rest of their lives. We actually wore the original cast recording we had out because we played the hand drive so many times we couldn't play it anymore. We had to buy it again. So it is literally an upbeat dance number, which celebrates the 50s, late in the early 60s music. Rama lama lama ka-ding-a-ding-a-dong, shoo-wop, shoo-wada-wada, yippity-boom, chang chang. I mean, it's just fun, energetic, and a way to end the show. That has been a fun, energetic show.
Daniel.
See, their closing number is so bad they don't have real words in it. For me, Grease 2 is because one, we don't have a flying car. That makes no sense. Where are we going? There's no flying car. What is this? And the luau is amazing because it shows him getting his jacket, and it still shows how campy the movie is. His jacket, and it hits Paulette, and he looks, he's like, jacket, and she's like, jacket. And I just think, and also like Maxwell and Stephanie's kiss is hot. And also We'll Be Together is a good song. That's the final song you're talking about. You're the one that I want. Like this one is We'll Be Together. And, to me, it shows growth again because Johnny sings, I like what you got. I guess it's okay if you want to show it. And then Paulette says, I am who I am and I'm over you. Just want you to know it. And so it shows that like he's willing to accept her for if she wants to show her bosom or whatever. Again, that shows growth.
I will agree with Daniel because I'm not for that Russian propaganda with the space program with the cars. So Daniel gets the points.
It's a car. It's more of a German car than Russian. I mean, what do you want?
Even worse.
Yeah, especially in the 50s, Stephen. Come on, let know your history.
So, Daniel, you get 10 silver dollars, but there's actually chocolate.
Yeah.
But there's silver, not gold, so there.
But he got 10 of them. All right. Next, we will go with better soundtrack. Daniel, take me away.
It's Grease 2 because Grease 2 is more well-rounded. While yes, I will agree that Grease has more of the mega hits that everyone knows, to me, when you're comparing the solos, for example, you can't tell me that Hopelessly Devoted compares to Cool Rider. It doesn't. And so for me, the songs as a whole are just better. I'm going to review Reproduction, Score Tonight, Girl for All Season, Who's That Guy, Prowlin', We'll Be Together, like Love Will Turn Back to Him. Like, as a whole, I think the album and soundtrack is better than Grease. While I will admit Grease has the mega hits because they have Frankie Valli, and so to me, there's some songs that are not that strong in Grease, where I feel like the worst Grease 2 song is probably Charades, which I do like. To me, it's better than the worst song from Grease. And so that's my answer basically. And it shows you get rock and roll songs, you get comedy songs, and you get big musical numbers. It also shows that Stephanie, basically it's that, like the Cool Rider song is one of the best songs. I mean, I'm going to use this against you, Steven. I love you, but I'm sorry. Steven grew up saying Cool Raider. I'm not going to say why, but that's what his
my brother,
his brother in his household said it. And so to me, that's a lot, but anyway, that's me.
Well, I would say this as far as the soundtrack, the Grease soundtrack has sold over 30 million copies worldwide. Grease 2, 30, I think, really.
Frankie Valli, please come to the front. You carried Grease. Frankie Valli, please come to the front.
He did not carry Grease, honey.
But Bee Gees, who wrote Grease, come to the front. Bee Gees, come to the front.
Just because you're one of those people who doesn't like disco, but this is at the height of disco. But anyway, I'll go on. But no, 30 million copies, making it one of the best selling albums of all time, ranking among the biggest selling soundtrack albums of all time. You're the One That I Want was a number one for stars John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. It also, because of the group, they're called, what are they called? Johnny Casino and the Ramblers. That's actually Sha Na Na, and they spun off and had their own show afterwards. They had lots of hits after this, which sort of sparked the whole, 50s, 60s Renaissance and Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. I mean, this, and all that music. We're also talking about American Graffiti, which sort of sparked this sort of craze for nostalgia for the 50s and early 60s, and again, the title song was a hit, so this soundtrack speaks for itself. They added a lot of different songs to this from the actual stage musical, and they all work. And they're all still being bought today. Period.
Well,
my rebuttal.
Sorry, go ahead.
My rebuttal was he spent half the time talking about how it inspired other people. Just focus on the movie. Also, Grease, the musical came out in 1972, so you had something to go off of. Grease 2 was made without that. Like, we didn't have a musical called Grease 2. So
well, if you're going to bug who was inspired, how many people have been inspired by reproduction, and we're going to score tonight? I don't know of many people who have. I've not heard. I don't think I've heard of.
Oh, as opposed to Call Me by My First Name, Betty. Yeah,
that's not a song though. It would be a song if I'd written that song. That would be a song.
Betty. Ooh,
right
Betty.
So, I'm gonna have to go with, in honor of America's birthday, Capitalism Wins. I'm gonna have to give that one to Steven. You get 1 million James bucks. Do not try to cash them anywhere because the Secret Service will come after you.
Do I not get anything for this though? Like, I feel like I'm a uphill battle here. I'm gonna argue with you a little bit, James, because they have the musical to go off of. Like, I don't have source material. This is a brand new thing I just made. Like, of course they're gonna be great. It was a successful Grease. It was a successful Broadway, and you had Barry Gibb and Frankie Valli on it. Like, of course it's going to be good. Like, I just feel like that I will agree the highs are higher, but I think the lows are lower. And to me, I'd rather have, when you're in a relationship, would you rather have a steady medium or would you rather have highs and lows?
I mean, early 20s.
I'm just going to prove my point here. I just want you to think about that.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into this. The topic that I am very well versed in as a straight male. Who had the better fashion? Go. Whoever wants to start this one first, because I don't remember.
We'll let Steven, since he's fashion forward.
I'm not really fashion forward, but the one thing that I think will prove my point is if you go to Google and you type in Charlie's Angels season 4, you will see that just because of her wearing those leather pants and that top, and the end of at the carnival at the end of the movie, that inspired so much late 70s, early 80s, like hot young woman fashion. It's those hot, crazy tight, pants and the little bustier thing. That was fashion for that period. That look inspired so much fashion that came forward from it, and again, this movie was one of the reasons why this entire look back at nostalgia for the 50s. I think people were wearing leather jackets again. People were, were trying, not really ducktailing, but they were feathering, which is sort of like the cousin of ducktailing, wouldn't you think, for your haircut?
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Ducktail. That's when you go like this and go back in your hair. That when he goes like this.
Yeah, like that. Like
that's a duck. That's a
duck. Oh,
tail.
Okay.
And feathering
all right.
Farrah Fawcett, but all of that really came back. The t-shirts, with the cigarette case and rolled up in the corner, all of that came back just because of this movie.
Okay. Daniel, get your fashionable case.
It's Grease 2. It's not even close. People dress like more. People to this day, you don't see many people dressing like 50s people, but they will dress up like Maxwell Caulfield and dress up like Michelle Pfeiffer in particular. And I'm not even talking. Let's just cut the point that she's in a leather. I'll skip that because I'll just say that's a wash between her and Olivia Newton-John, even though I don't think it is, but I'll say it is. Her in that purple pencil skirt whenever he's singing charades and she walks out and she got the purple almost with the headband in her hair and she's like tapping her, gorgeous, because that shows that she can be the girl next door or the leather wearing girl. And so for me, the overall fashion is just better in this one because it's so much newer. It's even though it's the 60s, it's not that much newer, but it just feels fresher. Whereas this just felt very, you know, I mean, Grease feels dated. It feels from the 50s. It feels very, you know, it just feels dated. So I just appreciate, and I think the leather looks better. I think the pink ladies jackets are way better looking than they are in the first one. And I think the T-Bird jackets are, or T-Bones as the principal says, are just, I think they're better. I just think if you look at the quality, it just looks better. I think the set design, and let's not forget, I'll Be Your Girl for All Season, all those different costumes, fantastic. Fantastic. Like the Paulette with like the martini thing on, that's so cool. Like, and then we get Maxwell Caulfield in a leather onesie when he rises from the thing in a silver onesie. Like, what more can you want?
I mean, I am sold on that point. Like the variety show with all that is definitely fashion forward.
It is
So
good.
I will give you 1 billion fashion bucks.
Oh,
Doesn't have
boy.
my name on it, but 1 billion
Thank you.
fashion bucks, whatever the conversion is.
Can
So
I?
we are moving to the final closing arguments, and we've had a wardrobe change, which I appreciate. So we will start with Daniel because he had an outfit change, and I think we should encourage that.
Who's that guy? What would they say if they knew it was Daniel? Um, so by closing arguments, after hearing both sides, I think the real question is, are we judging these movies only by nostalgia, or are we judging them by what makes a movie entertaining, creative, and memorable? Grease will always be a classic. There's no denying that. There's no denying its impact. As I said, I'm not going to push it down to make my movie better. But being the original doesn't automatically make it the better movie. Grease 2 took the foundation of the first film and built something new. It gave us bigger musical numbers, a different kind of romance, and characters who were trying to figure out who they really were instead of just following expectations. Michael and Stephanie's story is not about a guy trying to impress a girl. It's about confidence, identity, and proving that you can become more than what people expect you to be. The movie celebrates individuality, and that message still connects today. And let's be honest, a great musical should make you want to sing along, laugh, and have fun. Grease 2 delivers that with style and energy and songs that deserve more credit than they get. So, yes, Grease may have the legacy, it may have more famous moments, but Grease 2 has something just as important. It has personality. It took a chance. It is something different, and it deserves to be recognized as more than just a sequel. And my final thing for my mic drop moment is the original is loved because it's familiar. The sequel is loved because it's a discovery. Steven?
It's a discovery. Well, if you're going to have that, then I'm going to add this.
All right, changes.
Ray Charles in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Ray Charles.
Where am I? Who are there other people in the room? Let me know.
Is it me you're looking for?
Hello. Ebony. No. I will just say that Grease, the movie, has sparked multiple Broadway revivals of the musical, multiple regional productions of the musical, the stage musical, and community theater productions and high school theater productions, as well as a prequel show and a live TV special during the entire show. I mean, it's still beloved to this day. You know, there are high schoolers out there wanting to play Rizzo right now. And the film in 2020, the film was selected for the preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Now, I understand that Grease 2 is a wonderful, camp and cult movie. And I get that. I mean, I would love to be able to get a prop bowling ball and jump around a fake alley and sing Score to Die. I want to sing Hey Johnny Johnny. I love that. It's really campy. But there are camp movies and sort of cult movies that have become as culturally significant as to be, inducted into the National Film Registry. You know what I mean? There are those movies that have that kind of lasting power, but I don't think Grease 2 does. It's in that realm, but it's not resonating with the amount of people that say a Rocky Horror Picture Show does, which has sort of inspired many different legions of fans because of what it does and what it says to them. I don't think Grease 2 does that. I see that it's its own being. I totally agree with that. And any movie that has Judy Garland's daughter, I have to like because it's Judy Garland. But I just don't
I'll get
think
the gay police on you if you don't.
I mean, sure he sleeps with men, but does he like Judy Garland? I mean, here we go. But I just don't think that it's that kind of a cult film in the way. It is definitely a second tier cult film like that because so many people love it. So many. And I think you love it because of when it came out and when it was released and when it was being repeated. You know what I mean? Like this is one of those films you could see over and over and over again at a certain time, maybe on cable or something when they were playing it over and over and over. Like that's why a lot of the movies that I like, I can watch Coal Miner's Daughter, Mommy Dearest, and 9 to 5 1,000 times because I already have. I watched them when I was 10 1,000 times. So it's one of those things that become beloved to you that way. But I don't think it's that kind of a cult film that is that culturally significant to be recognized in that way. That's all I would say. And there was supposed to be a Grease 3, and Grease 2 killed that.
Steven, who? Okay, I know we're supposed to rebuttal because it's closing arguments, but what high schooler is dying to play Rizzo?
I'll say this: about what?
Like
maybe no, I'm serious. Maybe not a few years ago. It was like maybe 15 years ago. This friend of mine who I did a show with, he was a younger guy, was in high school, and he in his high school wanted to do Grease. So they asked me and my friend Nita Spears to do it. And that's when you're old. I was like in my 30s.
Were you the principal?
30s. And I had to play like Vince Fontaine.
Yeah, that's like...
And I was like, I'm only in my 30s, and I already have to play these.
Well, you could have played Grease 1 because they were all in their 30s.
And it really makes me happy to know that if I ever did West Side Story, even if I could dance, all I could play is Doc. But bust like a hot water bottle. That's all I can do right now. Or if I was in Lord of the Rings, the musical, I could play, I don't know, Smeagol, maybe. I'm
gonna leave that alone.
Don't touch that. Thank you.
That's thinking pretty high of yourself. You think you play Smeagol. Like
yeah,
a friend of mine got called back and was happy because he got called back to play the what is it, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I was like, if they ever call me and say we think you'd be perfect to play the Hunchback of Notre Dame, I can tell them where to go and at least call me back for the young lady, and then say, oh, by the way, could you just read this and see if this fits? Then that'd be fine.
All right.
Look at him combing his hair like there's hope.
I mean, he's really trying to get the sex appeal going.
Do the Fonz. Here you go.
Well, if I had my jacket, if I had my thing off, I could. Hey.
All right. Well, thank you for both of your closing arguments. There was someone who debated really hard, and there was someone that also debated. No, seriously. I'm very regretting my point choices, clearly making them up alone because I cannot clearly decide whose is what. I can't tell you what's
can't read your own handwriting.
Celeries. Yeah, I can't even read my handwritings. But I did remember giving out James bucks. So I think if we were looking this on a purely debating situation, Daniel would have won if we were looking at this on a pure debate. However, I had to watch both movies. So I would have to give it to Steven because it's a better film. But Daniel, you definitely won this debate. You debated the heck out of it. And I didn't even think this would become close. But Daniel, you did win the debate. But Grease 1 is still the better
James, I want you to stand up because you're about to get a T-Birds jacket. Let me give you this jacket. Let me
Wow.
jacket you real quick. Let me hang on. Let me not break my camera. You ready? Catch it.
Yeah.
Well,
There it
You got it. Yeah. I want to thank the Academy. I want to thank my mom for always believing in me. I want to thank my fellow competitor who put up a really good fight.
and play the music. Oh,
Yeah. I want to thank my God. And here's my pen about free Palestine. No, that was fun. Thank you. Stephen, you were a great competitor. And I had to bring my A game because I knew you would.
Well, bless your heart. I have to again make my point that my brother once watched Mildred Pearson, but who is the woman, the sassy best friend? I know her from somewhere. That's the principal of Grease. Oh my God! Oh my God! He just lost his mind. I was like, yeah, that's who that is. That's
All right, James.
So I will crown Daniel, the debater, winner of Rydell High for this podcast.
Rydell High.
I'm going to community college, Mama.
All right. Well, on that note, do you want to say any final words or no?
Yeah. So, unlike you last time, you said that you were basically doing a load of BS. I actually am not. I do think that Grease. I do agree with everyone that Grease overall is a better movie, but for me, Grease 2 just hits me different because I was even though I played sports, I was the nerdy kid that had a crush on this girl in 7th grade, and I tried to change for her, and it didn't work out. But I got the last laugh because when I was a senior, she came up to me and said she moved away and then came back, and she was like, "Are you Daniel?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "You're really hot. Like, do you want to go out?" And I was like, "Nope," because she was ugly. She was butt ugly. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was. Um, so I got the last laugh. So I think that's why it resonates so much more with me because I see myself as Maxwell Caulfield, just being that nerdy kid who gets overlooked by the very attractive girl who's way out of his league and everything. So for me, they both resonate, but I can argue Grease 2 more because, well, one, I have to because everyone always hates on it. But if you look, my generation is really, and James is really starting to rewatch Grease 2 and appreciate it. Like Steven said, he sent me an article about Michelle Pfeiffer talking about how much they love it all the time. So anyway, we've gone long enough. I'm sorry, but now for next week, I guess we want to do the wheel.
Yes, let's do the wheel.
Oh no, I forgot the wheel.
I'm sorry. Okay, can you guys see my? Can you guys see my screen?
It's coming through now. There it is.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Please, someone hold me.
God.
Big bucks, no enemies. Hold me.
Next week, we are watching The Godfather.
Oh, wow. At least I've already watched it.
Yeah, see, Steven, you're good. Actually, it was a pretty good choice. It was either Godfather or Slumdog Millionaire. So,
oh wow,
I'm excited. So we can watch Godfather next week. Then we get to see which one's better. It's like made my whole day. Good Lord, that's crazy how like you get a good movie and you're like, yes.
I'm so excited for Godfather.
All right, y'all. I'll take them. James, you did a great job. I want to give you a hand of applause. Actually, you know what, James? You hold your Duck Award up. You get the Duck Award for being an MC. You did a great job. It's not easy being an MC, and you stepped out of your comfort zone, and you did a great job. So you, sir, deserve that Oscar up that duck's butt. So,
yeehaw.
And on that note, if you have made it this far and have not been checked into a mental hospital, please do consider subscribing and liking. It really does help. We are on our road to 100 subscribers. And until next time, this is the Chicago Cinephiles Podcast. Signing out.